Welcome to the 2020 50 Years of Tone. Big night here. Before I start, I would like to call up Worshipful Dave Tricko, our Tony chaplain, to say grace. And please remain standing at the end. Pledge.
Heavenly Father, Supreme Architect of the universe, we are thankful for this opportunity to gather together this evening as family and friends. As the source of all life, all truth, and all beauty, we pray to you today that the light within these students will promote the intelligence and enthusiasm needed to perpetuate the knowledge, understanding, and skills essential to make this world a better place. As you bless this food we are about to receive, bless us to your service. Amen.
And now the Master of Orient Lodge, Worshipful Christopher Rogers, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ladies and gentlemen, hands to your hearts. Please join me in Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, sit. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be the Master of Ceremonies tonight, and on this, the 50th anniversary of the 10 outstanding overdue Tony. The JC started this program 50 years ago, and when they disbanded in Norwood 25 years ago, the Masons took over sponsoring this great event. I would like to mention Mary Conley, sitting here to my right, who has served the longest as co-director with myself for 25 years. But she was a JC and responsible for keeping this program going after the JCs disbanded. She got together with a few more JCs and they put on the 25th year Tony program. And the Masons started, and with Mary's leadership, have sponsored it the last 25 years. She has been working on this program for at least 35 years. Tells me she's only 29, I haven't figured it all out. I would like to introduce the head table. Myself, Dave Laurent, Mary Conley, the co-chair, Patricia Green, our speaker tonight, and Helen Weish, the Women's Community Committee judge. The Women's Community Committee has been a strong financial supporter of this program for at least 25 years. They might have been doing it long before that, but 25 years that I've been here, they're a very strong supporter. We couldn't do it without them. On my left is the Master of Orient Lodge. You don't have to bow, but it's nice. Worshipful Chris Rogers. Next to him is, okay, he's not sitting in the right place, so Nicholas Grove, who is a presenter, and Worshipful Louis Gabelka, who is also a presenter. And Quentin Blanchard is, as usual, in the back working, but he's also going to be a presenter. And at the round table are our judges. David Ajahn was one of our judges, selectmen. Bill Henderson was the Masonic judge. Michelle Bagby was the clergy. And Paula Palage down the back. I'm sure everybody at the high school knows Paula Palage. She was also a judge from the business community. Also at the round table are Courtney Rogers and Teresa Stewart and Amanda Grove, who are all presenters. The Masons are proud to sponsor this program for the last 25 years. It is especially important to us as it recognizes the main tenets of our fraternity, which are faith, charity, and a commitment to the brethren or community. You nominees all should be very proud tonight, as someone thought enough of you to put your name in nomination. We like to say you are all winners tonight, and as such, you will receive a citation and a $10 gift certificate for the Common Cafe. And I would like to thank Manny Escobar for donating them, the citations. He donated and made them up. No congratulations. So, congratulations to you all and your parents. Let's not forget, without them, you would not be here. So, when your name is called, we'll have the first presenter is going to be Louis Kabelka. And when your name is called, please come up. They have a few things for you and stand here. Look real cute and handsome. And they'll read out your accomplishments and you'll have to put up with it for as long as it takes. Louis?
All right. Thank you, Dave. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, first name, Juliet Cropper. Please come up. Dara Maldonado. Marissa Selk. I hope that was pronounced correctly. And Priscilla Zhang. Julia, if you could step forward, we're going to talk about you a bit. Okay. When Julia was in elementary school, she sang in church choir for 3 to 4 years at St. Timothy's Church. Singing in this choir opened Julia's eyes about God and going to church in general. The choir is also where her love for singing and music began. Today, Julia is a part of the music and drama department at Norwood High School, which gives her plenty of opportunities to help give back to her school and everyone who does so much for these programs. Julia also helps out with the choral and marching band, MICCA competitions. She is also involved with madrigal, singing at school plays, football games, and elementary schools. In her community, Julia volunteers at the Senior Citizen Prom, at the Senior Center, and madrigal singing at tree lighting, Friends of St. Nick and Day House. She also volunteers at Christmas in the City with St. Timothy's Church. In her own words, volunteering in community, school, and faith services has shaped me for the better in ways that I have never thought possible. Volunteering and giving back to my community is very important to me because I am the 4th generation of my family who has been born and raised in Norwood. It is very important to me to spread whatever I can give to Norwood to thank this town for what they have done for me and my family. I love to help people succeed and become better people, and volunteering around Norwood is the way of doing that. Giving back to my community is something that I will do for as long as I can. Juliet Cropper. Okay. Can you guys hold the applause until we finish with the last candidate here? Appreciate it. Okay. Dara Maldonado, Norwood High School. Dara has been involved in many community service activities such as Youth Impact Norwood and Team Rival. As a vice chair of Youth Impact Norwood, her responsibilities include planning meetings with Youth Impact Norwood advisors, facilitating the meetings for the youth program, and serving as a liaison between Youth Impact Norwood and Impact Norwood. She is also the team co-captain for Team Rival and has logged over 100 hours of community service with Impact Norwood and substance use prevention at Norwood High School and the DA's office. Dara is also involved in many school service activities, such as Student Council and the Global Citizenship Program. For the Student Council, she has participated in events such as Service Saturdays, giving back to the community in many different ways. For the Global Citizenship Program, Dara is an executive board member where she plans events that engage the club, the school, and the local community in their global awareness and to heighten their appreciation of the diversity. She is also a member of the Spirit Club. Dara states, quote, "While being in high school, I try my best to attend the majority of the community school service events because giving back to the community is a very joyous thing to do, and it could even impact a life. By being in the Youth Impact Norwood, Team Rival, Student Council, Spirit Club, and Global Citizenship Program, I have the opportunity to give back to the community in many different ways. My parents have always taught me to give back ever since I was little, so being able to go to service events has helped me grow into the person that I am to this day." Dara Maldonado. Marissa? You guys didn't listen to me. We'll try this again. Okay, one more time. You'll get one more chance to get it right. Okay. Marissa Sell, Norwood High School. Marissa has been involved in community services activities by volunteering with the Norwood Field Hockey Youth Program after her practices. She helps to coach and organize their drills. She also does community service activities through her church, such as Christmas in the City, where she takes part in setting up an event for the homeless at Christmas time. Marissa is involved in school service activities in her position as a publicity officer for National Honor Society. She takes part in a gift card drive and a blood drive throughout the year. Marissa is also in the Spirit Club, where she helps to put on spirit rallies for the school and do service throughout the school and Norwood, such as Monster Mash, Turkey Trot, and candy cane sales that go to Globe Santa. She also participates in Mustang Mentors and is a president of SAT. Marissa states, quote, "My Catholic faith has always played a role in the kind of person I am, kind, fair, and dutiful. However, it never truly left an imprint on me until I saw the effect my faith journey has had on others through my service. As a 4th grade CCD teacher at St. Timothy's Parish, I have learned that children are impressionable. With this, I taught them simply that the Catholic faith stems from love, kindness, and service. My service has shaped me into a leader where I can teach others, which will help me in my future occupation as a teacher." Marissa South. That was your last chance, guys. And you flopped. Priscilla Zen, Norwood High School. Priscilla is very active in any service activity. Junior year, she volunteered at the Senior Citizen Prom, where she assisted in decorating the senior center in Norwood. She also partook in creating a photo booth, served food, and made sure that the senior citizens had a good time. On a volleyball team, Priscilla took part in selling gray ribbons and t-shirts in support of a fellow teammate that was suffering from a brain cancer. In addition, she was involved in quilt square decorations to make a quilt. Priscilla is also a Mustang mentor and a vice president of the National Honor Society. Priscilla is a Christian, and at her church she serves on the leadership team and the worship team. Being on the leadership team gives her a chance to give back, because through the position, her younger friends can come to her if they are struggling with their walk with Christ. In her own words, Priscilla states, quote, "The Bloom Outreach program that I manage and participate in directly showed me that what I consider is daily life can change the life of another. I use English every day, and it's a way of communication here in US, but to the YI students, the English language brings an abundant amount of opportunities, such as going to college. Giving back should not be an obligation, but a desire." Priscilla Zen. Congratulations to all of you.
Now we'll have Courtney Rogers.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to talk a little bit about the next four students. Haley Barrows, Thomas Payne, Adeline Junaid, Audrey Scavati. Talk about Haley, and I'll remind, you all want to clap, it's all exciting, but hold your applause until the fourth student. Haley Barrows is a junior at Norwood High School. She has a long list of accomplishments, including tutoring a middle school student, which she finds extremely rewarding, watching him work through his struggles and finally get what she's helping him with. She's a member of the National Honor Society. She's a volunteer at the First Congregational Church, doing both youth classes and some administrative duties. She's also helped prepare food for a parish that they were visiting as an outreach visitor, and she has been a summer camp counselor. One of the things I loved most about Haley's essay was this quote. She said, "When I was younger, I dreamed of becoming a doctor so I could help people. I thought I would have to wait until I was older to make a difference. I never realized I could begin right away." Congratulations, Haley.
Very good.
Thomas T.J. Fame, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Thomas is a senior at Norwood High School. He has volunteered at the community food pantry. He has done canvassing for a political candidate in Bristol County already. Nicely done. He has participated in Town Government Day. He has been part of the Student Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Summit. He has worked at the Coakley Middle School Tennis Clinic. And he's also worked at the Norwood Tennis Summer Camp. He's also been a Norwood High School Model UN and has served as a delegate to the UN. I've also served as a delegate to the UN. It's quite an experience. He's also played varsity tennis and soccer. And one of the things I loved most about TJ's essay was transforming a culture was hard, but everyone on the team was willing to work together. This was part of the summer tennis camp experience he had and becoming involved with students he'd never met before. As a senior, it is remarkable how players have improved, with many only picking up the sport 2 years ago. Now, whenever I feel discouraged, I realize I have the ability to spark change. Nothing can hold me back. Congratulations, TJ. Adeline Junaid, and it's Junaid? Junaid, thank you. Adeline is a senior at Norwood High School. She has been a refugee camp volunteer. Well done. She's been a workshop speaker on mental health. She's part of Photo Voice Norwood. She has been a reader in her church. She's a Norwood community media volunteer. She's been on the Norwood High School Update Show. She has been a speaker and coordinator of the Boston Lebanese Society protests. She's a Mustang mentor. She's a member of Impact Norwood. She was a Say Yes to Norwood volunteer for our override. She's been a member of Youth for Understanding Virtual Exchange. She's part of an environmental youth coalition, the Global Citizenship Program, Town Government Day, and she enjoys dancing. And Adeline's quote, I also really enjoyed. Having been able to travel to the Netherlands, Germany, Argentina, and China, all on full scholarships, to talk before students and professionals about our future and being youth leaders, I realized my calling in life is to be able to help people. From globalization to food security, pressing matters like these are left in the hands of my generation, and it is up to us to take command of these demands. We must prepare ourselves to do so. Congratulations, Adeline.
You go, Abby.
Wonderful. And lastly, Audrey Scafati. Audrey is a senior at Norwood High School. She has volunteered at Abundant Table while that organization was still in active service. She's also volunteered at the Norwood Food Pantry. She's an assistant coach for the Norwood Stingrays and also a Norwood community media volunteer. I believe I saw you on Facebook today. She's been part of Team Rival, which is awareness of substance abuse throughout Norfolk County. She's also a member of Youth Impact Norwood, a Mustang mentor. She's been a student ambassador at St. Catherine's School, helping out at their holiday parties and their student council. This is when she was a student there. And her quote was also wonderful. She says, growing up in a house where I never had to question whether or not I would be getting dinner is something that I never realized could be a problem for others. I remember pushing around the dessert cart and feeling so helpful and proud that I was making everyone smile. From a young age, seeing people less fortunate than I really showed how lucky I am in life. Congratulations, Audrey, and congratulations to all of you.
No, we'll have dinner now, gentlemen.
All of the Masons Norwood, welcome to tonight's Town Outstanding Award. Congratulations. It is such an honor to be able to celebrate the many variety of ways that you give back to the community. You offer your hours of service. We find it inspirational. We want to encourage that in our community among all of us, youth and adults. And so that's why this program has existed for 50 years, to recognize that service and hope that it becomes a sort of lasting part of your life. So thank you for being here, and congratulations to all of you. Beg your indulgence for 1 minute. The Masons in Norwood here, based at this lodge, are really grateful and proud to continue this tradition. And on tonight, the 50th anniversary of this program, we really wanted to take a moment and thank Mary Connolly and David Larong for their leadership on that. And so on behalf of all the Masons here in Norwood, we have just a couple of plaques with appreciation to David and Mary in recognition of their tireless leadership and commitment to Norwood Youth on the 50th anniversary of the 10 Outstanding Norwood Youth Awards, January 20, 2020. Please, a round of applause.
Where are the press people? Oh, we have to continue. All right, I'd now like to introduce Quentin Daniel Blanchard, Worshipful Quentin Daniel Blanchard, who's going to be the next presenter.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Guess those kids aren't going to get read, right?
So these nominees are Joey Berry, Jaden Ryan. Tara O'Brien. And Justin Baez. Did I pronounce that correct?
Baez.
Baez. I'll get it right next time. Joey Berry. He's a senior in Norwood High School. Activities he's partaken in is a Norwood Summer Vote, volunteered at Norwood Hospital, Norwood Food Pantry, the Challenger League's assistance coach, fundraising for Matt Brown, and also he's a Mustang mentor as well as other things. In Joey's essay, he writes, I am fortunate to have grown up in a town known for supporting each other. Therefore, volunteering has been a part of my life from a young age. My grandmother engaged me in volunteering work from a young age. Thinking back on my experiences, I never felt what I was doing was a burden or a job. It was simply something good to help a person or an organization in our community. Participating in events at Norwood Hospital opened my eyes to the importance of giving yourself while helping others and how the simplest act can bring a much-needed smile to a person's face. I feel that the service in the community has expanded my view of the world exponentially and will be something I will always make time to do. It is rewarding for the recipients, but it provides me with a sense of accomplishment knowing that I've helped even one person, and that's a feeling I just can't describe. Joey Berry. Hey. Jaden Ryan. Also a senior in Norwood High School. Activities that Jaden was involved in: a special needs soccer game, Cradles to Crayons, placing flags of the veterans at the cemetery, placing flags for the veterans at the cemetery, and many others. As a veteran, thank you. Jaden writes in his essay, whether it be in the community, through school, or in faith, service to others has taught me countless life lessons. One of my favorite experiences that I have came very recently in a special needs soccer game that I was helping out with. I was asked to field together players from my varsity team and the girls soccer team to volunteer to play a soccer game with some of the special needs players. Although I've been playing soccer for the past 14 years, have been on the varsity team from a freshman year, named a two-time year captain, and was nominated to be Tri-Valley League All-Star, I can say with confidence that this is one of the best times I've ever had playing soccer. Before the match, I was able to meet all the other players and reconnect with some of the players that I have previously known. During the match, I got to run, play, and have fun with all of my friends who were able to come by, and all of my new friends playing with us that day. One special moment that I will take away from that game is helping Leo, one of the special needs players, scored one of his first goals. Seeing the smile on his face felt better than any goal I have ever scored. Remembering that moment reminds me of how good it feels to help others. Jaden Ryan. Tara O'Brien. Also a senior in Norwood High School. Some of the activities that she partook in was the Norwood Food Pantry, Norwood Youth Track and Field Clinic, putting for patients, that sounds fun, student council, putting together packages for veterans, and teaching CCD to first graders at the St. Catherine's Church. In Tara's essay, she exclaims, one of the best ways to feel good about yourself is simply contributing your time to helping others. Community service is a great way to give back and volunteer your time. Throughout my years of school, I have realized that volunteering my time to my community, school, and faith is very rewarding. My school does so much good for our student body, so any opportunity to return the favor is important. Being heavily involved has allowed me to make connections with new people and shown me how getting involved is a great way to contribute to a positive change in our community. Lastly, volunteering at St. Catherine's Church has made me a better person. Teaching CCD has impacted me because I love working with children. Tara O'Brien. Justin Baez. Did I say it right? Baez. Baez. Baez.
You're good.
Him. Also a senior at Norwood High School. Activities he took place in as a Norwood Food Pantry. He donates at Savers a lot. St. Catherine's Altar Service, a Mustang mentor, student representative for Norwood High School, and participated in the role of selectman at the town government day. In Justin's essay, Justin wrote, who, first off, by the way, who's originally from the Dominican Republic, writes his essay, "When I landed in the United States for the first time, I knew that my life was going to make a 180-degree change, in which I was given the opportunity to take advantage of all the United States has to offer. Giving back to my community has shaped my life in a way that I never thought. Growing up in a low-income family, having to start working at a young age, and knowing that the money I make is expected to cover my needs, is helping me in my desire to keep going above and beyond. Even though I have to work almost a whole week to pay bills, I always find time to give back to others. Being involved in community service, such as participating in the town government for 3 years, being elected the student representative for the Norwood Public Schools for the past 2 years, serving as an altar boy for the past 8 years, and being part of the Mustang Mentors to help underclassmen at school has developed me in a strong desire to serve. Even though I am an immigrant, I always say to myself, it doesn't matter where you come from or the color of your skin. What really matters is how big and kind your heart is." Those words live by.
The next speaker is Amanda Grow.
It's my infinite pleasure to introduce the next 4 candidates. Aaron Wagner. Nasija Balaban. Jared Chua. And Mary Lee. So we will start with Aaron and let them get settled in. And same as before, we'll try to hold our applause till the end. I know it's hard because they're all so great. So we'll start with Aaron. So Aaron has a busy roster of community engagement activities, from their work with the student councils, service Saturdays, to fundraising for the school or other causes. Aaron has been steadily giving of their time to the community. They've helped bring gifts for veterans, hosted the first senior citizen prom, picked up litter around the school. They've spent 4 years planning and volunteering with Putting for Patients. It's a mini golf-themed fundraiser for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. They've been active with Blessings in a Backpack in the Brockton area, and Aaron volunteers with Special Olympics. Yet of all of these things, it's their drive to give back that stands out. Aaron speaks of how acts of kindness and service bring a little brightness to someone's day. Aaron wanted to pay forward the experiences and encouragement that they've been fortunate enough to receive, and so they volunteer as an instructor with the Norwood Youth Hockey's Learn to Skate program. Through service, they've been able to see firsthand how these programs and other programs benefit fellow Norwood residents. In Aaron's essay, they talk of this feeling, and it's a feeling that anyone called to service knows well. They say this feeling of knowing that you are helping someone and able to make their day better is a force that drives me to volunteer. Aaron Wagner exemplifies the concept of paying it forward. All right, next we have Asija Bilavan. Asija Bilavan embodies the practice of community outreach, but also the quality of dedication. They've spent long time volunteering, and they've spent years lending their time to support the Norwood Food Pantry, the Memorial Library, and the Vacation Bible School Summer Camp. Through it all, they've taken great joy in the opportunity to meet new friends and the chance to put a smile on someone's face. They say that service can strengthen our community, but by providing for the community's needs, you're showing that we are always there to help. But these activities have allowed them not only to experience the joy of giving to others, but also it's given an opportunity for personal growth. She speaks of volunteering as sparking something within, instilling confidence and new skills. Now, it's said that for we adults, it's a lot about the here and the now. And for the young, it's about the future, where they're going. Yet, for her, she goes above and beyond even this. Because time and time again, when she talks of her service, She highlights how much enjoyment she gets not just from helping adults or peers, but from helping little children. Whether it's assisting with programs during their iHub internship or their time helping at the summer camp, she's a future leader nurturing the leaders who will come after her. Jared, and it's Shea, correct? Shea? Shea. Excellent. Thank you. Jared is extremely proud to be part of the Norwood community. He describes it as for his entire life. He spent that time helping with fundraising for schools, youth programs, and nonprofit organizations. He describes himself as someone with a philanthropist mindset, but that mindset is honed by compassion. It's that compassion that allows him to engage with people from all walks of life. And through these engagements, he identifies even more ways that he can help. Helping others is something that is fundamental to who Jared is, and he sees compassion as the cornerstone of any volunteer activity. He considers it to be the quality of the best leaders. Compassion is a driving force for Jared. That compassion has taken him to many worthy causes in our community. He's volunteered with Putting for Patients for his high school service Saturdays. He enjoys helping kids at the Learn to Skate program with the Norwood Nuggets. During the summers, he can be seen helping with events like the farmers market. But compassion is more than just giving of one's time. Compassion is about a shared human connection. And the most poignant example of this is Jared's work with Abundant Table, an organization focused not only on providing nutrition to those in need, but also dedicated to providing social connections. In his work with Abundant Table, Jared practices deep listening skills, an activity that he says has helped him to grow a profound appreciation both for people's triumphs and their hardships. Jared knows that true compassion can't come from a place of pity. It comes from a respect for every person's differing journey through their life, and a desire to be a positive part of that journey. Jared puts this principle of compassion into true practice. Last, we have Mary. Mary Lee is a Norwood youth who is always working to grow connections. I'm not talking about business networking or social media followers. Mary is building the type of connections that forge and sustain a strong community. She helps us to connect with our past by placing wreaths at the graves of veterans through her work with Wreaths Across America. She connects with art in the community as part of her school's spirit club, the Craft Affair. She connects organizations to potential donors, such as when she participated in the Walk for Hunger or in the Lions 5K race for a cure to support juvenile diabetes. As she connects residents with information and strategies for a more sustainable world, she does this through her involvement with the Environmental Youth Coalition. Mary knows how impactful it can be to a person when they feel alone, alienated, ostracized. So she dedicates time with activities and organizations that help to grow meaningful relationships that strengthen the community's bonds. She volunteers at the Special Olympics swim competition, connecting with other swimmers and a shared love of the sport. She helps young athletes grow their skill and love for field hockey. She helps out at St. Timothy's after hours, providing refreshments for families. And she is a mentor with her World of Difference school group, which focuses on addressing issues of racism and sexism. Mary Lee demonstrates that by building connections and understanding between people through service, we can gain confidence and mitigate feelings of isolation. Congratulations to all of you.
Okay, next I would like to introduce our speaker. Is Patricia Hawkins Green. She is the president of the Women's Community Committee. And again, we just want to thank them. They've been strong supporters of this program for well over 25 years. And we just really appreciate it. Patricia Hawkins.
Wow. In the presence of all of these delightful young men and women, thank you for your service. Phenomenal. I've done a lot of speaking, never wanted to put me in front of a classroom of 1,000 kids and I'm fine, but anyhow. Dave asked me to speak on behalf of the Women's Community Committee, which is an organization that I I've been involved with for 6 years. I was absolutely delighted to have a friend and neighbor invite me, and actually was chosen. It's quite an honor. This organization was begun by a group of women with a certain skill set and a devotion to this town, and they organized back in 1925. In 1927, they established the Women's Community Committee Thrift Shop, which is still in existence. It's at the corner of Washington and Boulevard Ave, down in South Norwood, 1091 Washington. Because of our many, many donors and our many, many patrons, the WCC is able to put every penny over our expenses back into the community. This year, we were able to raise the funds that we gave to all 6 of the schools in Norwood to $600, which is colossal. And we try to be involved in social service and quietly help those that do need our help. We give to the library, we give to many, many organizations. We buy books for senior citizens and sponsor their going to different functions. What do we not do? No, we're very big into education. We do run a free babysitters class, and that will be in April.
First week of May, May 4th.
Okay. And it's free totally. We have someone from the fire department come, someone from the police department. We have the school nurse, Jill Driscoll, come. I and Sandra DiStefano read, that was wrong, Sandra DiStefano and I read age-appropriate books to the children. And at the end, they get a certificate, they get a bag of books. We have someone who comes in as a professional babysitter. We have someone who comes in and teaches them arts and crafts. So when they go out into the world to babysit, they are well prepared. We have been active in Norwood 101 since its inception. Last year, we went for the first time to Norwood Earth Day, which was absolutely phenomenal. Met a lot of wonderful people. We participate in Norwood Day, which is always such a wonderful, wonderful community event. But enough about WCC, and my special thanks to all of the young people who were nominated, to all of the young people who were chosen to receive a Tony Award. You certainly are 10 outstanding Norwood youth, and I am humbled to be in your presence. Thank you for your commitment. Continue, please, to give, to help. It certainly is an honor, and thank you very much for having me.
Next presenter is a young man who's in the process of joining the Masons. Well, he's actually a Mason as soon as he gets his first degree. He's done his second degree, and soon he'll be a Master Mason, Nicholas Crowe. Let's see if he does it right.
More high, I see. So, before I call up the speakers, I just want to do a two-sentence introduction here. So this auspicious day for the Tony Awards happens to be Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And I wanted to say a quote from Martin Luther King that I think is appropriate. This was a direct quote from him. He said, "Life's most pertinent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" So think about that as we go through these presentations. So I'd like to call up the candidates for my presentation. So if I can call Robert Wulowski. Matthew Malley. Juliana O'Neill. And Liam Slatterly.
I'm sure not one of their parents is up here. This gentleman right
All right, we'll get started with Robert. Robert has volunteered their time with quite a few different charity organizations around town, specifically including the Babe Ruth Little League, preschool T-ball as well, and he's also helped with Prescott Elementary's teachers setting up and tearing down their classrooms at the beginning and end of the semester. Creating care packages for Rosie's Place, which is a group of organization that helps women in Boston, homeless women in Boston specifically. He's also recently attended an event called Senior Prom, where Robert got to see the impact of volunteering and how that time can affect both himself and others. And he's instilled into himself a sense of joy. Robert has also put in a lot of time with a group called Cradles to Crayons, and together they've helped create 90 outfits for kids in and around Boston. Through these acts, Robert has shown their passion for offering and lending a hand to those in need. So that's it for Robert. Next up, Matthew Malley. Matthew has taken roles within his school sports team and has a passion for assisting those that are in need. Some examples of his actions each November is raising food for families in need, coaching his school's basketball team, and helping be a spotter for the football team. Matthew has a passion to do as much as he can for the sports teams that he supports. Matthew also recently went to a leadership event where he was given the chance to travel to an assisted living facility where he spent time with people who are in need and were able to brighten their day. In these actions, Matthew has realized that there is a great joy in helping others in need. Matthew. Juliana O'Neill. While Juliana has recently begun her volunteering within the last year and a half, she's picked a few good organizations to work with. Juliana has partnered with the Jimmy Fund to raise money for cancer research. She's also volunteered with the Special Olympics. Within her school, she's given time to help with events that help the children, the elderly, the infirm, veterans, and the environment. Juliana has taken her leadership skills from student council and has applied them towards volunteering. This has helped Juliana grow as a person, and now that she has experienced the joys of volunteering, I'm sure that she's destined to continue her service duties. Thank you, Juliana. Next up is Liam. Liam has volunteered with their church and gone to Buffalo, New York to help with both homeless shelters and aid a small thrift shop business. These volunteering trips have taught Liam that service can be its own reward. Liam also volunteers as a tutor for both English and math in his school. Liam has also volunteered with the Ellis Nursing Home and helped the elderly and has also helped out with an event called Christmas in the City. This helps less fortunate families and their children during the holidays. Amongst all these activities, Liam also finds time to help with parent-teacher conferences and award ceremonies within the school. I'm sure this is only the beginning of Liam's charitable work. So, thank you, Liam. And lastly, I just want to say, Dr. King's "What Are You Doing for Others?" quote, and these candidates have all taken actions to make us proud and remind us that the next generation is preparing itself for a lifetime of service and giving back to their community. So thank you all.
Now I'd like to introduce Teresa Stewart.
Good evening. Last but certainly not least, we have 4 more candidates that I would like to call up tonight. So we'll Elena Shara. Matthew Angelico, also known as Matt. Maeve O'Connor. And Sean Chisholm. We all know the drill by now, but it doesn't make it any easier for the 4 here to stand in front of everybody and hear about yourself. But everybody in this room tonight who's been nominated should feel really proud of why you're here and why we're celebrating you. So, Elena, could you step forward? Arena is a high school senior who is heavily involved in community and school service. She is a member of the Environmental Youth Coalition, Model United Nations, Students Against Destructive Decisions, Mustang Mentors, Student Council, and the National Honor Society. She is also involved throughout our town in a number of ways. In her essay, she shared about her experiences that she has had through the Environmental Youth Coalition, collaborating with Progress Norwood, presenting to the Board of Selectmen, and working with our town manager. Arena is also an active member of her church, St. George's Cathedral in Boston, where she shared she finds a sense of community and motivation. In her essay, she wrote, "Through my active involvement in many different service projects, I choose to positively impact people." She goes on to write, "Being able to contribute and enact a positive impact in the Norwood community is something I do not take for granted." Thank you, Arena, for making such a difference in our schools and town. Congratulations on your nomination. Next up is Max, who is a high school senior. In his essay, he really eloquently wrote about valuing community service and how he learned this value through the example and participation of many members in his family. In his own words, he wrote, "I grew up watching and eventually joining my family in their charitable and volunteer work. I have learned from my family that spending time and helping out in our community benefits everyone's quality of life. Community engagement has helped me make meaningful connections." He has donated his time to the following organizations in our town: Norwood Historical Society, Norwood Recreation Department, Norwood Basketball Association, Norwood Food Pantry. He has also been involved with toy collections for Children's Hospital and as a Mustang mentor at the high school. He plans to, after his graduation in May, enlist in the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve and to pursue a degree in criminal justice with the goal of becoming a police officer. In his essay, he wrote, "I attribute my desire to serve and protect to many, many years of exposure and involvement with community volunteerism. I feel that every positive action any of us contribute as a private citizen creates a great community overall." Well, Max, I think you're well on your way of doing those things. Thank you and congratulations. Next up is Maeve. Maeve is in her junior year at the high school. In her essay, she says that community service is something that has interested her since a young age, and that as a child, she really enjoyed helping people. In her essay, she wrote about one of her first volunteer initiatives, while she was in the 5th grade at the Cleveland. She was a part of students that year who organized a hurricane relief effort to those affected by Hurricane Sandy. Since then, she has participated in many activities through her church, Project Red, in nursing homes, homeless shelters, and the school. She is an assistant swim coach for the Norwood Stingrays, teaching the youngest children in the pool. Maeve says, "I learned a lot from my experiences and will continue to give back to others in the future." Maeve, I can't wait to hear about what you do in your future, but I have no doubt you'll continue to make a difference. Congratulations on your nomination. And last tonight, our final nominee is Sean. Sean is a high school senior who is heavily involved at Norwood High School in the Service Saturdays, Global Citizenship Club, and the National Honor Society. Sean doesn't only volunteer, but he steps up and assumes leadership roles. He is the boys' treasurer for the class of 2020 and the secretary for the Global Citizenship Club. He is also involved with the nonprofit organization, the World Computer Exchange, which provides internet and computers to developing countries. He also volunteers with his church, St. Catherine's. In his essay, Sean wrote about a number of the events that he has participated in with his church, saying, "I have proudly done many service activities that represent my dedication to faith. I have always felt that I should give back to both God and the community because they have blessed me with the ability to live a fulfilling life with success and family who supports me along the way." In addition to his volunteerism, Sean has a part-time job and does a lot of reading and research on astrophysics and mathematics. Sean, it is very clear to me that you are determined and that you are making a difference. Congratulations on your nomination.
Tony for, well, actually, my son was nominated 28 years ago. So he was very young when he was nominated. So that's how I got involved with Mary. And it's been a wonderful time, and I really appreciate being able to put this program on. You all are winners. I say this every year, but it's really true. We have to pick 10. It's not easy. It's not easy. The judges will tell you when they're scoring these, they go through it and they have a problem. So you're all winners tonight. We will now, well, first we'll have Mary Conley give out the award for the Father Robert Dwyer Award.
I first became acquainted with this Tony program from my work with the Norwood JCs. The Norwood JCs created and ran the Tony program for the first 25 years of its existence. It started out as a small dessert reception and has evolved into the lovely formal dinner reception that we have here today. The Norwood chapter of the JCs disbanded some 25 years ago. Since that time, the Tony program has had a new home and sponsor here in Orient Lodge. When the guidelines were being drawn up for the program here, it was voted unanimously to continue two special commemorative awards that had been established by the Norwood JCs. The Joe Pierce Scouting Award and the Father Robert Dwyer Memorial Award. And it's become tradition that a former member of the Norwood JCs presents these awards. We don't have a scouting winner this year, so we're just going to have the religious award. Some years we have scouts and other years we don't. Father Robert Dwyer was a strong supporter of the Tony program. He was a priest at St. Timothy's here in Norwood. His duties included mentoring the peer ministry program. St. Timothy was a teenager, the youngest apostle, if you will. His works were referred to by Father Robert Dwyer in the speech he gave as our guest speaker just a few short weeks before his untimely death at age 38. This award was established to be awarded to that boy or girl who demonstrates a strong commitment to his or her faith community. Particular emphasis is placed on faith-related work done with, for, or to benefit peers and other youth in this community. This year's winner has been and is still very active in her church activities. She is a 4th grade CCD teacher at St. Timothy's and has been for 2 years. She is also a camp counselor at St. Timothy's Vacation Bible School and has been for the past 4 years. She attributes her love of service to her strong Catholic faith. She has also participated in Christmas in the City through St. Tim's and Norwood High School. In her own words, "My service brought me closer to my faith. I used to go through the motions of going to CCD. It wasn't until I saw the impact my teaching had on my students that my faith began to click with me. I now feel a strong connection to God, my role as a teacher, and a giving human being in society." The 2019-2020 Father Robert Dwyer Award winner is Marissa Self.
Okay. Yes, I will tell them every year. Don't forget that the photos will be at the end, and we'll keep them here all night if we have to, so you all get a chance to take them. I thought there was a couple of press people here, but maybe he left already for restrictions. When I call your name, please come up, and they'll have some awards here for you. Each winner receives a plaque, a citation signed by the governor and the lieutenant governor, and a check for $500. Or a savings one if you prefer. So, let's get to it. The first 10 outstanding Norwood youth is Tara O'Brien. You can stand right over here, all itself. The next winner is Jaden Ryan. And the next winner is Sean Chisholm. Arlena Sharon. Guess what? Marisa Silk. Priscilla Zhang. Adeline Janine. Her father was trying to pay us for his ticket, and he thought it might not look good if he slipped us 25 bucks for this. So you can pay us right after. Thomas Folan, felon, femme. He was everybody's Irish in Norwood. Matthew Malley. Now, last but not least, Rajesh Velavan. Rosita. All right, well, these are your 10 outstanding Norwood youth. Oh, come on, that's 2 more. Any questions from here other than the, well, Dad, you can come over a second. Anybody come out and take a picture?